Have you ever felt that moment of absolute certainty? That split second when the hair on the back of your neck stands up and you know something is watching you. Not just seeing you, but watching you, studying you, waiting. Tonight, I'm going to tell you 4 stories that prove something is always lurking just beyond the firelight. 4 true accounts that blur the line between reality and nightmare. Stories of hidden forests where silence speaks louder than screams. Of forgotten places that hunger for more than just memories. Of ancient rituals that dance between human and something else. These aren't just campfire tales. These are warnings. Because the most terrifying monsters aren't the ones in horror movies. They're the ones watching you right now. Are you brave enough to listen? Whispers in Hollow Creek. You know, I've been a forest ranger for over 30 years, and there are some places in these woods that don't play by any rules you'll find in a guidebook. Hollow Creek isn't just a location, it's a living thing, and some say it hungers. This story, this isn't just some tale I'm spinning. This happened to friends of mine, hikers who went into that forest and came back, changed. If they came back at all. Some places, they're not meant to be explored. Some secrets are better left buried deep in the forest's throat. The night was suffocating, pressing against Jake, Sarah and Mike like a wet, cold blanket. They had been hiking through Hollow Creek for 3 days, their planned week-long expedition slowly turning into a nightmare of mounting dread. It began subtly. First, the strange silence. No crickets chirped, no owls hooted. The forest seemed to hold its breath, waiting. Then came the whispers. At first, Jake thought it was the wind. Soft, indistinct murmurings just beyond the firelight. Fragments of conversations that dissolved before they could be understood. Shouldn't be here. They're coming. Hungry. Sarah was the first to notice the marks. Thin, deliberate scratches on the trees surrounding their campsite. They weren't random, they were patterns. Intricate, almost mathematical symbols carved with precision that no animal could achieve. Mike tried to rationalize. Probably some local kids messing around, he said, but his voice trembled. His hands shook as he added another log to the fire. The temperature dropped. Their breath began to fog despite it being midsummer. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. Sometimes they sounded like children, sometimes like elderly men, sometimes like something in between, something that wasn't quite human. Then they saw the first shadow. It moved between the trees, too large to be human, too fluid to be animal. Glimpsed only for a moment, it seemed to be made of living darkness, shifting and reforming with each blink. By midnight, they realized they weren't alone. And whatever was out there wasn't just watching, it was hunting. The forgotten cabin. My grandmother used to tell me about families like this. Generations trapped by something darker than blood. In these old New England woods, not every family tree grows leaves. Some grow shadows. Some contracts are written in more than just ink, and some debts. Some debts are paid in flesh and blood. Some houses aren't haunted. Some houses are the haunting. Emily and Ryan were urban explorers, always seeking the next abandoned location to document. The cabin in the remote Vermont woods looked like countless others they'd investigated. Weathered wood, broken windows, nature slowly reclaiming what humans had abandoned. But this cabin was different. The moment they stepped inside, something felt wrong. Not just the usual musty smell of decay, but something deeper. A sense of profound wrongness that seemed to seep from the very walls. Photographs lined the walls, generations of a single family, but something was off about each image. The eyes, always the eyes. In every single photograph, the eyes were wrong. Slightly too large, slightly too dark. Watching. In the basement, they found the journals. The first entries were mundane, farming logs, family records. But as they progressed, the writing changed, became more erratic, more desperate. "It feeds on bloodlines," one entry read. "Each generation must provide. The contract cannot be broken." Another. "The children are not children. Not anymore." Ryan discovered a hidden compartment behind an old bookshelf. Inside was a small, leather-bound book and a rusted knife with strange inscriptions. They should have left then, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. Echo Lake's midnight swimmers. Summer camps. They look so innocent, don't they? Kids laughing, campfires burning. But between the marshmallows and the ghost stories, something older is waiting. Something that counts the years like we count minutes. Something that needs to feed. Not every tradition is something to celebrate. Some are something to survive. Camp Pinewood had been a summer tradition for generations. Nestled beside the pristine Echo Lake, it seemed like the perfect place for teenage fun and summer memories. But something happened every 27 years. The councillors knew, had always known. A tradition passed down, whispered between generations. A secret kept from the campers. The lake wasn't just a lake, and the swimmers weren't always human. On the night of the summer solstice, something emerged from the depths. Something that required a ritual, a selection, a sacrifice. The water would become still, unnaturally still, and then the choosing would begin. The transmission. I worked in research long enough to know there are things we aren't meant to understand, frequencies that shouldn't exist, communications from places beyond our comprehension. Some knowledge comes with a price, and sometimes that price is humanity itself. The most terrifying transmissions aren't the ones we hear, they're the ones that hear us. The Arctic Research Station had been isolated for months. Dr. Helena Rodriguez was monitoring electromagnetic frequencies when the transmission came. At first, it seemed like standard radio interference, static, noise. But then, patterns emerged, mathematical sequences that shouldn't exist, frequencies that defied known physics, and underneath it all, a sound, a rhythm, a pulse. Something was trying to communicate, and it wasn't from Earth. The infection started small. A team member complaining of headaches, strange muscle spasms. Then the changes began, slowly, subtly. By the time they realized what was happening, it was already too late. Are you brave enough to share your own campfire horror story? Comment below with your most terrifying true or fictional tale of horror. Subscribe to our channel for more spine-chilling content, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Some stories are better left untold, but some demand to be heard.